So I'm sitting in Hyderabad on the sets of Sardar Gabbar Singh with the one and only power star Pawan Kalyan. Mr. Kalyan, thank you for first of all talking to us. I believe you haven't given an interview in a long time.
I feel a little shy to give interviews. That's it. No.
You're shy.
Not shy. I don't feel like talking much about myself. That's the reason.
You don't enjoy.
Not that I don't enjoy. Somehow I feel I do my work and just go back. That's it. There's not much to say other than doing the work. That's what I feel.
So I'm going to give the uninitiated a little bit of introduction to this personality sitting with me. 2016 is Mr. Kalyan's 20th year in the movies, but in 2 decades he's only done 20 films, which is not a lot at all.
It's less.
It's very less. And we could be here all day and I could be telling you about his box office and the fans that he has. But instead, I'm just going to read out a few of his dialogues, the most popular ones, to give you a sense of who this is. In one film, he says, just because a lion, of course, this is translated from Telugu, just because a lion is sleeping, you don't make a braid with its mane. I love it. I don't follow trends, I create my own. And here's my personal favorite from the film Gabbar Singh. When the bad guy tells Mr. Kalyan, you don't know how popular I am in this region, Mr. Kalyan replies, popularity is like a passing cloud. When the climate heats up, it will melt down. I am like the sky, rain or thunderstorm, I'll always be the same. Is that true of you? Are you the same?
I don't know. For me, for a film, it's so kind to entertain audience. Maybe that's how people write. At my personal level, I just don't think anything. I just do my job. That's it. I don't. I happen to be an accidental actor, so I was not supposed to be an actor.
I read that you liked gardening and you wanted.
Yeah, actually, my passion was gardening and farming. Maybe I wanted to be a farmer all through my life. Except that I could become other things. Except that, still I try a little in farming and gardening.
So you were a reluctant, accidental actor, but you're doing such an amazing job of it, and which is why you're called the power star. And what I love about that label is it says so much in such a short time. But the truth is, you're not just an actor. I looked at your movie credits. It says stunt choreographer, playback singer, writer, director. You're so many things.
I think all happened because of necessity. I had my limitations. I have my own limitations even now. And when people try to put me in their imagination, and I was struggling to fit into it. But instead of, in the process, I was ending up as someone which I couldn't deliver the goods. So I was thinking, like as I said, if it is me, I can, this is not my area of expertise, or this is my area of something which I can do. So what I used to do is what I can do. So I can do this. So I used to give the inputs or something. At least I made myself comfortable to do what they had given. So I used to adopt a little here and there. That's how it started off. And later, I think I got the hang of it. Then I was continuing.
You make it sound very simple.
But actually,
I'm sure it's not as easy as that.
No, they don't let it happen. So you'll have a lot of struggle and fight. Like, yeah, no, I'm saying simple, but in the process, it's not simple. You have to have a lot of kind of arguments. But somehow I used to convince them. You know what convincing means.
Do you ever think that as because you're so big and they love you in ways that are beyond your movies, do you always have to play the upright good person?
Definitely, I don't like to play as I'm very clear about certain things. I don't like to play as a bad guy. There are no bad guys in this world. The complete bad is not there. It's only shades of grey. There's no complete good. It's shades of grey. And also, I'm not a great actor in such that where I can transform into another character, where I completely, from the previous film to another film, I can transform myself into another. I can't do that because I'm not a trained actor. So happy being what I can do it. That's all I can say.
In an interview, Steven Spielberg had said that his biggest problem was that nobody would say no to him because he was so powerful. So I love that. So is that a problem you face, that nobody ever says no to you?
I'm aware of myself. I know my own limitations. I tell them, I said, I'm not able to do this, could you help me? But they think, okay, you do a lot of things I think you know. Like I pick up cues from anyone, any small suggestion I take it. they restrain and they confine themselves by not able to give me the right input. So because I'm a popular, I'm a known actor, that doesn't mean I know everything. Most of the time I try to keep seeking inputs from different, even no matter who they are, whatever they are, even a little inexperienced, but still they come out with the brilliant ideas. So I try to keep reaching out to them.
You listen?
And I do.
Really? Because what happens when you reach this level of power and popularity is you start to live in a world which is in a way not real, because there's so many barriers around you. Have you consciously tried to get away from that?
When we know there is something beyond us, one who created us, so it will humble you. I don't know, after my third film, they took me to one of the cities, and they were asking me, like I said, we got a open top vehicle for you to go to that venue. And it was a function, like it's a big function. I said, why it is needed? They said, a lot of people are going to come. I said, who's going to come and look at me? And actually, when I went, this hordes of people were there. I was wondering, like, what is the difference between me and them? I said, both two sides of the same coin. I said, destiny has put me here, so there's no difference between me and them. So I don't have to take it to my head. When I trace the thought back, maybe there are so many people involved to give me that experience that I'm able to deliver.
Who enabled you to do it?
Who made me to do? Oh yeah, who could?
But Mr. Kalyan, you've led such an unconventional life. I mean, every sphere of your life, personally, professionally. You launched your political party, Janasena, but you're clearly not, and you said that in your speech at the inaugural of the party, that you're not here for a post or you're not here for power. You're like a conscience keeper.
Someone should be, somehow, I don't know, somehow a lot of thoughts, they keep choking me. I say a lot of big dialogues in films, and I say it with such a conviction when I'm saying it, actually believe in when I'm saying it. So I keep wondering, how come when I say with such conviction in films, how come in real life incidents, how come I'm so scared? That questions me. And I have that kind of, I can't face myself. So I think that's what made me restless, that's what choked me, not just in 1 year. All through my childhood, I had a lot of opinions to say. Maybe I want to say something, I want to be bold, I want to be fearless when something is happening. Maybe that made me to go into a little into politics, maybe a little here and there. I think that's how the genesis of Janasena, I think.
In that inaugural speech, you said that home is far. You quoted Tilak.
Yeah, Mr. Tilak, yeah.
Yeah, and you said home is far and there is darkness around.
Yeah.
But still there is courage. Is that true for you? Is that what you have, courage?
Courage is almost as a muscle which expands.
If you use it.
If you use it. So we pump a lot of iron, we can grow muscle, but the muscle of courage, it's always you have to exercise on it. And always, the courage is always, it can stretch. You can stretch. Maybe today the level of courage for one point of time is not the same for another incident. Again, you have to live up to it. Not that I want to stretch my limits. Maybe a situation comes, I don't want to step back. I don't want to. I would like to face, I would like to have an opinion, okay. That's how it is.
Do you ever feel that you're risking anything by going into that arena?
Even risking means, if it is about the cost of life, we risk a lot. Even if a simple horse riding, even sometimes we go through a lot of kind of electrical short circuits and all. So in that way, if you look at it, danger is lurking everywhere. So for me, I said, and that too, if we are about to die at any point of our time, so why can't we say something and just do it? I think that's how it started off.
But especially for film stars in this country, it's very difficult to actually be political because there's so many possibilities of sort of bad effects. Films get banned,
that's
this
true,
happens.
that's true.
You don't seem afraid of that.
Films is not the end of life. Films is just a part of my life. For me, life is more bigger than cinema. If you weigh what is expressing is more essential than keeping quiet, I prefer to express myself, no matter whatever the cost is. But it's not that I will be foolish. I choose, and also I go through a lot of thinking process. It's not that I want to irritate people. It's not that I want to make people angry. I said, if there is some kind of imbalance or injustice, I want to put it in such a way to make them understand.
You're not seduced by your own superstardom?
I never believed myself as for me it is God-given, or it just happened to me.
I was reading up about your fans, and they call themselves Pawanists, and they believe in Pawanism.
I don't know how it came. So for me, sometimes I find it strange.
But Do you ever stop and introspect about why they love you so much?
Maybe all of us look for some kind of role models. And I know maybe role model is too big a word. But I never did it consciously. I just did it for myself, not for that someone is going to, it's going to be good for someone, but what I will do, that's what I could do.
You followed your heart.
I followed my heart.
You're handling success very well, but you also handled failure very well. I mean, after the stupendous success of Khushi, you went through almost, 10 years when there wasn't really a big blockbuster. How did you deal with that?
I think much before I entered into films, I was telling you, accidentally I was pushed into films. For me, films, if I could do it passionately, was like, whatever job will be given to me, I do it with complete dedication. It's not something I don't waver. So when films happen to me, how best I can be, that's what I was trying. So when I was doing it, I used to go and tell my mother, I said, Ma, I used to call, Ma, you know what's happening? These guys are paying me money and they're letting me do what I like. So for me, even if they don't pay me money, I said, I'm very fine because I'm able to do something which I like. So when I was enjoying that process, I'm more grateful for that process. So always I was thanking, I don't know, so always right from my childhood I believed in the supreme nature. It's not something of formless God, it's not something of God of form or something, but always I believe something,
Higher.
a higher power. So I said, I'm hardly a high school dropout, and how come life is able to give me this much? So it is not my capacity, it's not my intelligence, it's not my abilities. Something happened to me. So that made me, even if I was I was getting success one after the other, I was always scared. I know this is not mine, it was given to me. Tomorrow a failure comes, and also don't own it. Don't own this success and don't own that failure. I think that's how I went through my failures.
And do you plan to direct again?
For me, directing a film is confining myself. I prefer to do beyond the director. I know a lot of young talent is there. I can conceive, write, stories and screenplays. That is more better for me.
Do you ever think so-and-so younger people are coming, this is happening, my film has done this or his film has done that? Does that ever come into your mind?
I never felt jealous.
Insecure?
Never insecure.
Ever?
Never. Never.
That's amazing.
Because I feel very contented for whatever God has given me, and I think everyone should succeed. That's what I believe in. And also it's nice to have competition. I get irritation at one point of time is when people try to do the same thing to me. I said, in which way I'm causing you insecurity, to feel insecure about me. I said, we have 365 days. There's so much business can happen in 365 days. It's just, mine is just only one day. If your product and whatever you're doing, work is good, it will work.
And now after this film releases, after Sardar Gabbar Singh releases on April 8th, what are the plans? Do you make plans? Do you plan like 1 month, 2 months ahead or nothing?
No. Right now, because of, I don't know, I went through a lot of different kind of situations in my personal life and professional life. I have a name, but if I don't do films, I can't sustain myself. So my first priority right now is how to sustain myself. I planned for a few films, 2-3 films, that's it. After that,
so we'll see you come back to screen like sooner?
2-3 films. After that, I'm going to give up films.
Give it up?
I'll give it up, yeah.
Why?
That's a commitment I made to myself.
When?
I made long back, not today. Long back I made it. I don't like doing too many films, it's tiring. It's
but you could do a few space it out. Why give it up?
If I get into politics, I want to give my complete attention to politics. For next elections, I'm going to...
Is that what you're going to do?
Yeah.
And what will happen to the Pawanists?
I don't know. Maybe I'm taking a bigger responsibility. I prefer this is real, and that a film always there are a lot of other people who can entertain and who can engage. And this is what my DNA and my heart is saying. I don't like to get scared and intimidated, and I like the quality of fearlessness. I give it a thought. Even to get into politics, it was not something overnight. No, it was not that. It was right from around 20 years I was thinking. Right from my childhood, I used to want to read comics or something. That's the nature, but I used to read headlines. I said, what's happening? Maybe I was inspired by a lot of social work, social what happens in a freedom struggle. Maybe I think that maybe I had a good social teacher. I think it was there. It is not something like because I became an actor, I adopted politics. Not that. It is there even before that. Even I'm filming, something read a newspaper that opens up. I said, this is it. Constantly some kind of a voice tells you, oh, you're a timid fellow, you can't do it, you're running away. I can't take that voice.
I read that you're a voracious reader and you're big consumer of world cinema.
So I do watch, but not to that extent kind of binge watching, I do.
But you named your son Akira after the great Kurosawa?
Yeah. I don't know, somehow I fell in love with his films. I love with the courage and I love with the valor of samurai. The way he unfolds the story, the way he unfolds the characters, I was madly in love with this film.
But do you ever feel then, sort of frustrated by the kind of formula of Telugu cinema? Do you ever feel that it should break away from this now?
I do. It's very difficult to make an Indian film. Suddenly you break into a song and suddenly you have to, what do you call that? Navarasa, we call it as.
We want everything.
All the 9 emotions has to be portrayed and it's so taxing. And to everything put it in the right dosage and right percentage, it's killing sometimes. Sometimes when I look at any Western film, any Hollywood film, it's the thought process is very clean. They want to do this kind of film. It ends there. But this is our system. And whoever keeps on feeding it in a new perspective, I think they get the glory.
But you try to do that with your
But
movies.
it's very tiring, even for me, even to do it's very tiring. But out of necessity, you push yourself to do that.
Is that why you take such long breaks between movies?
Yeah, I go crazy because sometimes, every time to shave and do this makeup, little coloring, it's so annoying for me. I said, that's why I grow my beard and just leave it. That's what I do.
So when you're not filming, your beard is grown and
Yeah,
you're on your farm?
I wish I had that luxury to grow beard. I recently had one point of time, I think I was maybe 1.5 years back. And after that, 6 months I didn't shave, just I was letting the beard grow. But that's why I love politics, so you don't have to do anything. You just speak.
Just speaking is enough.
Oh, it's such a comfort, you don't have to really dress up that. Like I said, just go. Whatever your heart says, believe in it, say it. That's it, it's there.
But when you're not filming, what do you do in those long gaps that you take?
Long gaps, first of all, I read. Recently I was talking about land acquisition. So for almost for 1 week, 10 days, I was right from the old act, British act, I was reading everything. So I was trying to understand it with my first-hand experience. In that way, depending on the need.
So you get obsessed with something.
When I get obsessed with something, I'm into it. Madly I'm into it. So I want to understand completely. I want to have my own opinion.
So in the cinema space, you're very content. But in the social sphere, obviously there's a lot you want to see done. What is the one thing you could change if you would change if you could do it tomorrow?
I really focus on law and order and on agriculture. These are the two things which I really what my heart goes for.
And Mr. Kalyan, do you have any regrets? Are there any things you wish you hadn't done?
Whatever I did, whatever the outcome, I did it consciously. So that's why I don't have regrets.
And you take full responsibility?
I take full responsibility. And I don't, whatever it is, in future also, I don't shy away, I don't run away, and I face the responsibility. I do it consciously.
So 2-3 films and
Yeah.
then the cinema shuts and the political...
But what I want to do is I want to write stories and screenplays. And that too, it's also, I need some kind of way of life, way of making money to sustain myself. And to act, it would take a lot of time. To direct, it would take a lot of time. To write, at least in my free times, I can write.
What would you like to be remembered as or by? Do you think about your legacy?
I don't believe in legacy because so many people had come and gone. Like I said, I never believed in legacy.
And you don't think about, what you leave behind or the impact you have? Clearly you do.
For me, I like this. Every day I tell myself like this, do your duty and disappear.
I love that. Do your duty and disappear.
Disappear. So whether it gives a legacy or not, that's not your problem. And consciously if it was trying, if it is a legacy in a sense, okay, an ideological legacy or even a film-wise, even for example, an ideological legacy, I said, is there any need to create another religion? There are enough religions. Is there, for me, when they call Pavanism, I said, sometimes you can't understand truly. Is there any need for it? First of all, my question is that, is there any need for it? There are enough isms out there, and it will mess up your mind. I said, there's one more. That's how I look at it. But I don't have a strength or right to say, please don't think that way. This is what my opinion about that. And when it comes to legacy, as an actor, if my kids are there, I want them to really work for themselves. I want them to earn, because my father had never given me anything. My father had given me the basics, and he told me, okay, be on your own. I feel that legacy should be earned, it can't be given. So, because of legacy, a lot of issues are there in our country, in right from politics. There is a good parties there in legacy also, but sometimes undeserved people also, just because of legacy, we have issues about that. Maybe for that reason, I don't want to be a part of them. That's the reason I consciously choose myself not to have that thought. That's one reason.
You want to do your work and disappear.
Yeah, constant. This I tell every day. This is my mantra. Do your duty and disappear.
I think it's a great mantra, and I think most of us should plan on adopting it. It's fantastic.
But it's difficult. But in the process of doing duty, you get emotional about it. You get more.
You do, and you also not just get emotional about it, but Mr. Kalyan, for most normal people, you get invested in the result. You get invested in what comes back to you.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You know, and now there's this whole thing of your brand. Everybody now is their own brand. There's social media. There's this, then that. So the idea of do your duty and disappear is actually completely counterintuitive to everything.
That's true. That's true.
But it's a wonderful thought, and I hope more of us can follow it. Why are you not in the endorsement business?
I'm not good at selling. That's what I realized. I said, when I'm saying, please.
Why aren't you good at selling?
No, when I'm saying that, I want to fill with conviction when I'm saying something. Okay, see this? I love it. I want to say it.
You want to really love it.
Yeah, I know. This is how, with conviction, you have to say that's how you're selling the brand. But when I look at a brand, I get so many thoughts behind. So actually, that was either this company won't get benefited, and I'm not doing justice to the money which I have taken. So after 1 year, I realized, I said, I'm doing injustice to the product with my own ideology. Then I said, by mere taking money and exploiting them is not right. It is not. I'm not debating here whether is it good, bad. I'm not talking about it. I said,
right.
do I do it? Do I really use it in real life? I said, I don't use it. So my conscience was killing me. I said, what you don't use, what you don't consume, and you're trying to sell it. And I was not able to face myself. Every time I look in the mirror, I said, hey, you're not using it. So I was going crazy. I said, better off without money or not with this. Then I stopped it.
But it's so much money.
I know. Still, sometimes I struggle when I look at other actors. It's not something like I don't feel pain. I said, oh, these guys are making money. How come I don't have money? Let me do some ad. Again, I get the same thought. Again, I stop. And that's what. I love to do ads, but my conscience doesn't permit.
So how about you pick a product you actually use?
Actually, I'm thinking, maybe I don't know what is that. I'm still...
A brand you wear.
Yes, something like that.
Call them and say,
yeah, maybe a shirt, maybe a jeans. Yeah, maybe.
That's the only way to resolve this problem.
Yeah, somewhere we have to find a middle path.
Thank you. That's so funny.
And also, I feel, you ask me, when do I feel jealous? When other actors are earning money, I feel jealous then. They make a lot of, what is it, branding and all. They become brand ambassador. That's okay.
So the solution is you find a brand you already use.
Yeah, we'll find a middle solution.
The car you drive, call those guys and say. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
It's been such a pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.